Hello Nigeria and hello Nigerians. It's that time again of True Nigerians, Heroes of Our Time, a program where we bring to you Nigerians that are role models, Nigerians that are worth emulating, Nigerians that have done us proud in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Today my guest on the program, it's a woman of many firsts. She was the SSA to the governor of Oyo State on intergovernmental relations. She is a lawyer. She is a doctor. I was trying to call on another word for what she is, but I won't say it. I wanted to say she's an early Japanism, but there's no word like that. But my guest on the program is vast. She's been around the world, and we thought we need to share her experiences with Nigerians. You know, our usual tradition is when we see someone who is packed with a lot of wisdom, a lot of things that will benefit the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we'd find a way by all means to bring that person to true Nigerians so that we will be educated and would all contribute in moving Nigeria forward. My guest on the program is a lawyer, a doctor, a mother, a pastor. The list is endless, but my guest today is Dr. Olushola Younger. We'll ask her what younger means later. My pleasure to have you, ma.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, thank you
so much. I appreciate it.
All right, we have a traditional question. In your own definition, how would you define a true Nigerian?
A true Nigerian is someone that that is passionate about their country, that loves their country, that would do anything to foster, the good of the country. Basically, that's what it is. All the virtues, everything that they have, they put it in their country because they love their country. Country
first. Yeah. Okay. That's a Nigerian who is patriotic. Put your country first. You know, we've always said that Nigeria is a one room that we all live in. If anything happens in Borno, in Oyo, in Benue, it still affects all of us. We are all seated here today and recording this program because there is peace. Yeah. Once there's no peace, we don't have a country. But we will never get there by the grace of God. Thank God for pastors like you that are praying for us. Tell us in brief your pedigree.
My pedigree, well, of course, you already announced my name.
Yes.
I am a lawyer. I am licensed to practice. I went to Obafemi Law University, used to be University of Ife. I got my LLB there, and then went to the United States. Well, practiced a little bit with Rhodes and Associates. That was in Lagos, best criminal defense law firm in the country at the time. And then I went to the United States, and I wanted to know the rudiments of the American legal system as well, because someday I wanted to be able to bring back whatever I acquire in the US back to my country, Nigeria. So I went there, and then I studied law as well, got my Doctor of Jurisprudence, and then got experience with the state, with the county actually, so public service. I was a criminal defense attorney. After that, I went and got some experience in civil stuff like immigration, family law, real estate and transactions and all of that, corporate law. So I did all of that, worked for a couple of law firms, and then I opened up my own practice. And then I got the job in Nigeria. I got an appointment with Oyo State government. The late Senator Ajimobi being the governor. And after that, that's it. So I'm here with you.
Okay. So I was right where I was heading for. You know, I just wanted you to say it, you understand, so that I wouldn't miss out anything. I didn't know how to put it in law, the way I saw it in law terms. But I'm more concerned, like I've said before, with the fact that I have been deceived several times, especially in Abuja here. I have bought up to 5 duplexes now in this Abuja, and yet I don't have one single one, because I see that your legal practitioner has to do with real estate too. So I want to ask, given your experience abroad and Nigeria, with what you are seeing here now, and what is really wrong with the business of real estate? Why is it that every time, especially in this Abuja, that I've tried to buy properties 5 times, out of that 5 I have lost 2? I don't want to mention the names of the people. Maybe I should even mention, because I'm angry with them. Now, I've lost 2 already. 3, they are still in court. No, 2 in court. 1, the people, this organization finally gave me a land in the place and say, okay, take land since we can't, and build. So, is it that, is there nothing, is there no like a structure or something that checkmates the activities of those who are in real estate? Don't you guys have a union or a committee, or what kind of laws does the government have to protect people like us, to protect its citizens from people like this kind of real estate organizations that can tell you one thing and sing and tell you all the best things you want to hear? Once you pay your money, you start hearing stories.
Yes, thank you so much. That's a very good question. Well, I've always had an issue, just like you have experienced it. I have, just like a lot of other Nigerians, and also expatriates, so Nigerians in diaspora, that are thinking, okay, we want to start easing back home. We need a property of our own. We need ties to Nigeria besides our being born in Nigeria. So just like you and everybody else, a lot of people have been duped. So I'm going to start with the government. Basically, the government needs to put things in place. For instance, in the United States, when I was practicing real estate, which I still do when I'm there, real estate transactions, there is a system in place where there's what's called the geographical information system. This is a system whereby all the lands in this country, or depending on the states, in each state, local government, or everything is recorded. Everything is like you can access it. So before you buy a property in the US, they search the property, and when you search the database, you can tell who the owner of the property is.
What do you mean when you say recorded? Recorded how? Recorded computerized in the system, or
of course
recorded with camera?
No, it's computerized.
Okay.
I mean, there's a database, there's a record, a computerized record, whereby anyone that wants to buy property can search the property either through their attorneys or their real estate agents. And once you search the property, you are able to tell up to 100 years who has owned the property, how much they sold it, how much they bought it, whether there's a cloud on the property or there's an encumbrance or anything like that. So you're able to tell before you go into the property, before you put your money in it, you are able to search through the geographical information system if this is a free and clear property that you're supposed to invest in. So that's number one. I think that can be replicated in Nigeria. Maybe some states have some form of it or the other, but it's a good thing that you brought it up, because there are a lot of people that want to come back home and that want to buy properties, but they're just afraid of being duped over and over and over again. So my advice to the government, if they're listening, local government, state government, federal government, is that Nigeria needs a central, maybe in state, central recording system, a data system where each and every property in that state is recorded and and anyone can check the history. So that way, people buy their lands, their properties free from encumbrances or clouds.
I'm thinking, in Abuja they have edges, but I don't know how it works. I don't know how the system here works, because even with all the transactions I had with these people, I'm just trying not to mention names, because sometimes I feel I should just publicize it. And I think because with all the transactions I had with them, nobody mentioned anything about edges, so I don't know how the system here works really.
Well, yeah, the system here,
And
I've been to Ages to search for properties, to see if there's a history of properties. Sometimes you have 3 or 4 people fighting over one same property. So I don't know, I don't know if I can say that Ages really works. I don't know if Ages even has a database that has all the entire property. For instance, in the FCT, where anyone that wants to buy property, each land is unique. It's supposed to be unique. So that land, just like human beings have a name, is supposed to be unique, and people are able to read or, know the history of that property. I'm not sure about Ages. One other thing that I wanted to mention when you talked about being duped, left, right, and center, is that I practice real estate in the United States. I handle clients' monies. I can't just be handling people's monies without any recourse to, or without any regulation or anything like that. So what happens in that case is, because I handle clients' monies, I have a license, just like the kind of license that a bank will have, or that, what else, like all those agencies that transfer money, Western Union, American Express, and all of that. As a lawyer, I have that license. So whatever the bank has, that regulates them, regulates me. So I do have a license to transact businesses, exchange where monies exchanges hands. So there's no way I can mess up.
And here you can buy the license. Anybody can buy once you have money. You understand? I think that's where the problem is. So I think you are very right when you say the government, because if the people in government are the ones breaking the law, then where would ordinary citizens like us run to? That's what I think. But it's good. We can only continue to talk about it. At least now we know but I was hoping that maybe they have like a union, or they have somewhere something that they should have, because it's not even good for the reputation of those who are in real estate. So they should have a way of cautioning some of their,
of course,
apart from government.
Just like the legal profession in the United States, just like accounting profession, and medical profession. Most professions are regulated. I wish that our government would replicate what they have in the outside world, where, like you said, the real estate agents have their own regulatory bodies. They cannot just do as they wish. Even attorneys, you can't do as you wish, because I have to carry insurance in order to practice law in the United States, most especially real estate, where you handle people's monies. I have to carry an insurance. So basically, if you mess up, either as an attorney or as a real estate agent, you're gonna pay for it. There's gonna be a penalty, because if you get in trouble with your client and then there's a claim against you, depending on how much it is, your insurance company has to pay the client. And then, as for you, your premium goes up. They're not going to insure you for the same amount if you're a high risk person. So everybody is regulated. Every profession, just like accounting, everything is regulated. So I don't know why we're not regulated here, most especially real estate. Land, like I said, is unique. It's very valuable. A lot of people want to keep their money. They want to use it invest their monies.
You mentioned criminal when you were talking. One of the issues that bothers me, especially in Nigeria a lot, it's awaiting trial. You know, of recent I saw on the news someone who was awaiting trial for 20 years. Awaiting trial, that means you have not even been convicted yet as a criminal. You are just awaiting trial. And you are there for 20 years. So, what else? He has served the sentence already. So, why is it, I've asked this question before, I think, to the Attorney General, Mike Ondaka. I'm still, he answered it, but for someone like you who have practiced abroad and here, I want to know, how does their system, how come they don't have the kind of awaiting trials we have here in the US?
Yes. I can answer that question.
And what can we do in Nigeria to stop piling up and suffering people in decongest our prisons
without due process? So basically, I mean, that's a very good question as well. You've been asking very good questions. So the congestion of prisons or people awaiting trial, I don't know where else in the world, most especially in the Western world, where that happens. There is a constitution that says people cannot be denied of their due process or cannot be deprived of their rights to freedom and everything. It's an inalienable right that everyone that God made is entitled to their liberty. You don't confine people because you just want to, or because, so basically, in the United States, for instance, the law says that anyone that's charged with a crime is innocent until proven guilty, and they have to have their own day in court. So you can't just lock someone up and then throw away the keys and expect that all is well. So basically, human rights are very important, and the way that Nigeria can amend this or curb this is to have lawyers that are in the US called public defendants. Public defendants, meaning that people that are not able to afford to hire an attorney with their own funds, the government will provide a lawyer for them, just so they can have their day in court, just so that, because the objective of the law is that not a single innocent person should be incarcerated. You can set a lot of guilty people free, but the object of the law is that not a single innocent person should be incarcerated. Their liberties, their freedom should not be taken away. So basically what the government needs to do is to invest in having lawyers, government lawyers, that are given to individuals who cannot afford their own lawyers. So they will defend them. That way they have their day in court. That way they can say, well, I did this, I didn't do this. And so that's basically how to go about it. And as an attorney in the United States, as soon as my client is charged and then, you know, oh, guilty, not guilty, and I want to take the case to trial, even if I don't want to take it to trial, even if it's still going to be a plea bargain, immediately I file a speedy trial motion, meaning that judge, system, this trial cannot go, this case cannot go past 120 days, right? That's 6 months. So there's a motion called the speedy trial motion, meaning whatever you do, whoever is involved in this defense, prosecution, the case must not go over 120 days, or you know, the case can be thrown out.
A lot has changed in Nigeria. In Nigeria now, it's not like before. We have a lot of problems with insecurity. There's more crime in Nigeria now than it used to be, and I know, this is my personal opinion, that one of the major reasons for this crime is unemployment. I think that once there's most of the majority of Nigerian youths are unemployed. Most of them are even educated, but no jobs, nothing to do. Now, it's even worse now. Prices of things have gone up, fuel is up, everything has gone high. You understand? So there's tension in the land. It's obvious. Nobody can pretend about it. How do you think we can solve the issue of unemployment in Nigeria? Because I know the consequences of unemployment. You know, I have never had, it's only of recent that I started hearing of suicide in Nigeria. No Nigerian will agree to die. Nigerians don't like to die. Suicide, now you see young people committing suicide. You are hearing one chance every day. The crime is desperate. You see people committing crimes like they are forced to. You can see they don't want to, but they are just it's like you are forced to commit crime, sort of. I'm not saying it's the only way. How do you think we can really solve? Because the population is much. Even if you say, okay, start a private business, how many people want to enter the private business? So how do you think we can sort the issue of unemployment?
Yes.
What advice do you have for the government? Or
of course, I can answer the question. First of all, the youth are the future of this country. Like any other country, your youth, I mean, these kids, we tell them go to school, be very educated, go to university, all of that, and then they finish all of that, they listen to their parents, they listen to their government, they get very educated, and then they are unemployed. You know, that's very sad. And there are a lot of things that our governments and in collaboration with the private sector can do to get our youth employed. It's not rocket science. You know, where there is a will, there is a way. Once you're bent on doing it, you can do it. You know, so basically one of the suggestions I have is that when I lived in the US, when you called your electricity company, when you called your electricity company or your gas company or your bank, you notice that the calls are not answered in the United States. They're answered out of some places. It could be India, it could be Cambodia, it could be anywhere. Why? Because the Western world, well, not the government, but different kinds of organizations, they outsource labor because they know they can get labor cheaper elsewhere. I mean, when I say cheaper, it doesn't mean that it's going to be under inhumane conditions. It just means that, you know what, let's focus on the core of our business. Let's leave the customer service stuff, the customer complaints, the calls from our customers, let's leave it to other people to do. Okay? So basically, the youths in Nigeria, all we have to do as a government, as a people, states, local, private sector, is set up something for this youth, solicit from the United States, from youth, from the UK, from everywhere, businesses that will come and employ our youth to answer calls. You create a place that's called a call center. People can even do it from their home, but let's say, you know, you want to keep it because of security, cyber security, other security and stuff, banditry and all of that. Let's create a zone.
This country needs unity. We need peace.
I'm all for renegotiating the terms of our coexistence. We have to renegotiate it.
The youth have been misguided, unfortunately. You know,
I like my country. I like the land and people.
hey, look, I have 40% shares in this company. But if I had known that you
judges are either corrupted or they are afraid of giving judgment.
there's no stopping.
No stopping.
But government requires more revenue to make sure that these initiatives
Give us a better Nigeria! Give us a better...
Youth are the vehicles of change. The youth are the answer.